So today we are going to continue our training on how to become self-directed learners. So last time we discussed about stage 1, which is all about self-evaluation. This time, our next stage is all about setting learning contract. So why do we need to have a learning contract on how to do self-directed learning? Because self-directed learning provides you an opportunity to personalize your learning, explore not only the given topic but also your learning goals, resources, creative learning pathways, and evaluation of learning outcomes. To ensure a meaningful and successful implementation of the process, learning contract is a great tool. This will guide you on your independent learning and help you become an effective and efficient self-directed learner. Since on self-directed learning, you have the freedom to choose your own pace, to choose your own time, to choose your learning strategies, to choose your resources. Therefore, you need a guide or a map that will guide you in order for you to have an effective and efficient independent study, in order for you to become an effective and efficient self-directed learner. And that is learning contract. But what is a learning contract? So learning contract is a student completed document reviewed by the teacher that outlines what you will learn, how will you learn it, and how your learning will be assessed. The elements of a learning contract are learning outcomes, learning strategies, resources, evidence of learning, time scale, evaluation and feedback, and reflection. Therefore, learning contract is a guide or a map or a document that involves or that consists the key components of an independent study. And those are resources, evidence, strategies, outcomes, evaluation, and so on. Remember that this learning contract is being done by the student, you, and to be reviewed by the teacher. So every lesson you need to have a learning contract. These are the key components of a learning contract. First, we have learning objectives. Learning objectives refer to knowledge or skills you need to acquire. What are you going to learn? What are the topics given to you? Mahahanap nyo din itong learning objectives na to sa unang bahagi ng bawat module na binibigay or ibibigay ko sa inyo. Next, we also have learning resources. Learning resources refer to textbooks, audiovisual materials, software, recordings, modules, links, and any material or tool which supports, facilitates, and enhances your learning. What are the materials, tools you will use to meet the learning objectives? So kapag may binibigay akong module sa inyo, ang kailangan nyong gawin ay maghanap pa ng ibang materials na pwede nyong gamitin or magagamit niyo para mas maintindihan pa yung lesson. Because not most of the time or not most of the students prefer nila ang modules. So therefore, as a self-directed learner, kailangan mong maghanap ng iba't ibang learning resources like textbooks, audiovisual materials, software, recordings, modules, and links. Among those learning resources na nahanap mo, hindi naman agad-agad kapag may nahanap ka, yun na yung magtutugma or mag-fit kung anong learning strategies or kung anong materials ang pwede mong gamitin para matutuhan ang lesson. So therefore, kailangan mong pumili ng at least 5 dito sa learning resources. Kailangan mong maghanap ng at least 5 learning resources and then you choose which among those materials or which among those materials ang pwede mong gamitin or pwede mong supplement doon sa module na ibibigay ko sa inyo. So again, choose at least 5 materials and then choose 3 materials among those materials na pwede mong gamitin as supplement sa module na ibibigay ko sa inyo. And then, we have learning strategies. Learning strategies refer to methods or ways you will use to learn. How are you going to meet the learning objectives? Dito sa learning strategies, you will cite or tell a story kung paano mo matututuhan or natutuhan yung lesson or paano mo na-meet yung learning objectives. For example, the module requires you to solve for the mean, mode, and median. Therefore, what would be your strategy in order for you to learn how to solve mean, mode, and median? And then, we have learning products or evidences. Learning products or evidences refer to tasks or activities you need to accomplish to demonstrate learning. What are the evidences that you meet the learning objectives? So, kada module may binibigay na assessment task. So, that would be, and kada module may binibigay na essay or task or a certain activity para ma-meet ang objectives. So, yun yung ilalagay nyo dito sa learning products or evidences. But, the question is, tama nga ba yung nasagot or tama nga ba yung nagawa nyo dun sa learning evidences? So, pwede kayong maghanap ng kakilala, maybe your classmates, your teachers, your previous teachers, or someone or some knowledgeable others na pwedeng tumulong dito sa learning products or evidences. We have also completion date. Completion date refers to your target date or time of completing the learning products and evidences. Since this is self-directed learning or independent study, you really need to set time and date to accomplish certain tasks or to accomplish the module. Because sometimes kapag at our own pace, at our own time, nakakalimutan na natin gawin yung mga modules and nakakalimutan natin gawin yung mga tasks. So therefore, you need to set a certain date to complete the task and to complete the module. We also have verification. Verification refers to the means of validation of your learning. Ngayon, how are you going to verify or validate that you understand the lesson, meet the objectives, and acquire the skills and competencies? Binasa mo yung module, you did the task, but paano mo ngayon i-verify kung tama nga ba yung skill or tama nga ba yung task na nagawa mo? That's why I am encouraging all of you to have a discussion on our module in GC. So, if ever na meron kayong problema, you need to don't be hesitate to approach your classmate, me, or others, or your friends, or your family, or some knowledgeable others para tulungan kayong i-verify kung tama nga ba yung skill or na-achieve nyo na yung learning objectives. So, if ever there will be a question, mas maganda na i-ask nyo dun sa GC. Like example, paano gawin itong question number 1 sa assessment task? Mas maganda sa akin or mas pabor ako dun sa pangyayaring yon kaysa yung kukunin nyo na lang yung sagot sa kaklase nyo. So, I'll be expecting that all of you who have undergone this training will initiate the discussion in your group chat. And maybe isa din ako dun sa magpa-participate sa discussion nyo about the certain task or certain lesson dun sa module na yon. And we also have self-evaluation. Self-evaluation refers to the grade or mark you will give to your accomplished tasks or activities. What grade or mark you will give to your learning products or evidences you accomplish based on the rubrics given by the teacher. If there are and don't if there are no any rubric, since ang ginagawa ay points or yung ang grades ay true points, pwede mong sabihin na 90 out of 100 ang pwede mong ibigay sa sarili mo, or 90 out of 100, or sa tingin mo perfect or wala naman sigurong mali dun sa ginawa mo, then you can give 100%. We also have teacher's evaluation and feedback. Teacher's evaluation and feedback refers to the grade or mark given by your teacher along with a constructive feedback to your accomplished activities or tasks. So dito sa teacher's evaluation and feedback, ito yung magiging actual grade or actual mark na ibibigay ko sa inyo based dun sa sinubmit nyong learning tasks or learning evidences. And lastly, we have the reflection. Reflection refers to the metacognitive analysis of your learning experiences. How was your learning experiences and how are you going to improve your learning? So sa reflection, you can do this reflection, you will learn how to do reflection on the last stage of this training. So, for your task in stage 2, you will do a learning contract on a certain previous module that have given to you. So, choose among those modules na binigay ko sa inyo. Module 1 ba? Module 2 ba? Module 3 or Module 4? Then, you do the learning contract on that module. So, ito lang yung magiging basis natin for this training. But, this learning contract, you will do this learning contract on every module na ibibigay ko na sa inyo from this. So, sa finals, kapag meron tayong 6 modules, meron din dapat kayong 6 learning contracts. So, kapag etong learning contracts, isasubmit nyo every time na isasubmit nyo yung learning evidences or yung learning task na ginawa nyo. So, kailangan kasali na yung learning contract dun sa output na isasubmit nyo sa akin. And all of the outputs under this training, including these learning contracts na isasubmit nyo until the end of this semester, ay i-compile nyo at yun na yung magiging requirement nyo sa akin. So, I repeat, every module na isasubmit nyo or every task na isasubmit nyo sa akin, dapat merong learning contract na kasama. But for the sake of an example, for the sake of an output for stage 2, for this training, you will choose a module on the previous lessons na kailangan na gawin nyong ng learning contract. Our third stage after this setting learning contract is all about practicing creative learning pathways. So, why do we need to have a learning pathways? Because self-directed learning enables you to take responsibility of your learning. Choosing and implementing appropriate and creative learning pathways that will ensure you a meaningful and successful learning. When you recognize your own learning style, you will be able to integrate it into learning process. As a result, learning process will be easier, more meaningful, and more successful. Understanding your learning style helps you in learning how to learn. Thereby, you become more autonomous and accountable of your own learning, which is a primary characteristic of a self-directed learner. Since You have the freedom to choose your learning time, your learning space. It is a must that you must also have a creative learning strategies or creative learning style. But how you will know y- what is your learning style? Therefore, you definitely must assess what learning style will suit you. What learning style will give you a meaningful and a successful learning. And but first of all, we need to define what is a learning style. Learning style refers to your unique approach to learning based on your strengths, weaknesses, and preferences that is presumed to allow you to learn best. It is the preferential way in which you absorb, process, comprehend, and retain information. Thus, your learning styles are not really concerned with what you learn, but rather how you prefer to learn. In self-directed learning, it is a must that you will choose the best learning style that will fit you because it is you who will do the independent study. Therefore, it is a must that you will choose what is your preferences on how you will absorb, process, comprehend, and retain information. So, your output or your task here is to conduct a self-assessment on choosing a learning style. I will give you a questionnaire and then you are going to answer that questionnaire. After answering that questionnaire, you will learn what learning style that will best fit you, what learning style will best or will give you meaningful learning. So that's all for today. Thank you and God bless.